Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing good. In the previous video we have seen the electric field on the axis of a circular ring, and then we have done one question based on the projectile and the electric field. So basically we have entered into electric field due to extended objects, and today I'm going to talking about the more applications of that ring thing, and we're going to see different forms of the questions which can be asked on based on the concept of ring. Alright then, so I'm sure you guys remember the fact that electric field on the axis of ring A is given as kqx at a distance of x as r square plus x square to the power of 3 by 2. You should have this in your mind, and probably will be using it quite some time. Okay, now let's quickly understand first of all the graph of the electric field with the x, and then probably we'll go and check more numericals. We know that A is equals to kq by, let's say, r square over here, right? So if I want to know the electric field variations with respect to r, the graph should be somewhat like this. Let's suppose this is my electric field and this is the reason length value r and all. It's like something like this, right? So that should be the value of, that should be the graph of electric field and the distance among them. So that's very simple. I'm sure you guys can actually use this. Even in the vector form, this is going to be same. All right then. Now let's see some applications of the ring questions. Let's say, for example, guys, if I have something like this, probably if I okay, let's say I have like this an axis, and I have placed a ring, let's say a part of the ring, okay, such that it's making an angle of 60 degree over here and 60 degree with this bottom line as well. Let's say this is 60 degree. Pay attention on the way in which I have actually measured the angle, clockwise, anti-clockwise. That's very important. We'll be using the same kind of things in the field due to a rod. So okay, in the next video I would be coming up with the field due to a rod. It could be finite rod, infinite rod, and we're gonna see a lot of questions based on that. As of now, let us understand how to find the electric field because of this ring. Let's having a charge of let's say positive q over here, spread over this entire piece of ring, which is a part of the entire ring. Let's suppose the radius of the ring is r. Let's say r, origin is the center. Sorry. So we have to find the electric field at the center due to this part of the ring, which has a uniformly charged distributed q over the entire length. That's the question. You can note down the question. Alright then, I'm going to just quickly recap the process how to find it. Basically what we do, we find the small element, right? Let's suppose here, let the small element be here, dl. Let's say small element. We got to find the charge on this small element. We get to find the small electric field because this small element, and then I'm going to integrate for the entire piece of this element that is a part of the ring. So that is the entire process. Well, that's going to be same for every extended mass system. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Find the small, take the elementary particle, find the small charge on that, find the small electric field due to that small particle, and then integrate based on the total shape, the shape it's given over here. Alright then, no problem. So let's say this is at an angle of theta over here, and let's say the small length is making some small angle d theta over here. So this small element should be nothing but r d theta. That's a very normal thing. Now electric field, because of this, let's suppose it's okay, let me make it properly. DE is in this direction. Okay, now as we know this angle is theta, so even this should be, let's say, theta. So it will have two of its component. One will be along this and one should be along this. This is going to be DE cos theta and this is going to be DE sin theta. Alright then, now let's see that because of symmetry you can actually understand that because of this part also will be having some field at this point going in that way, which will have two components along this and along this, right? So because of symmetry this part will be nullified, so there won't be any field in this part. That's going to be nullified because of the symmetry, right? There are going to be some case in which we might not have the symmetry. We're going to learn the ways to find that, but as of now we can see there is a symmetry over here, right? Okay, so basically what we need to find the DE cos component of that. So cos component of DE, that's going to be DE cos theta. Alright then, let's quickly go ahead and check it out. Well, you can write lambda. Lambda is nothing but q by, this is entire angle is how much, 120 degrees. It means this length should be 1/3 of the entire circumference, so that should be 2 pi r over 3, so that's going to be 3q over 2 pi r. So this I'm just telling you for your reference. If the question asking the answer in terms of q and r, then we can use this, or else normally we're going to keep in terms of lambda. So let's say charge density of this ring is lambda. That's a charge density. It's a linear charge density. Linear charge density. All right. Now we get to find the small dE, this part over here. So dE should be nothing but k q. Q should be how much? Lambda times r d theta. Lambda r d theta. That's a small q over the r square. Well, that should be r square. Since we are looking to find the dE cos component of dE theta, so if I look for the dE cos theta, that should be k lambda r d theta over r square times of cos theta. Alright, then to get the net field E, I need to integrate this. So let us integrate this part. Now let's see, I think we have some cancellations happening over here. Alright, then this part will get cancelled. So finally what I'm going to get is k lambda, I'm going to take the constants out, k lambda over r integration of cos theta d theta. Now let us try and define the limits of the angle. Well, you can see that angle is coming from this point to this point, right? Now this angle is negative 60 degree and this is gonna be the positive 60 degree. I'm sure you guys okay with that. So what we do, we measure the angle with respect to the axis of symmetry. This way, if I'm taking negative, that way it should be positive. It could be other way also. Alright, then the limit should be negative 60 degree to the 60 degree. That should be the way to put the limit, right? Now, so this is going to be k lambda r. Integration of cos theta is nothing but sin theta. So sin theta upper limit 60 degree plus 60 degree. Fair enough. Now, so finally I'm going to put the limits. I'm going to have k lambda sine of 60 degree minus of sine 60 degree of 60. So that should be sine 60 degree itself minus of minus sine theta. That's going to be positive sine theta. So I'm going to have, sorry, r, I just missed out. I had k lambda by r 2 sine 60, that is 2 into root 3 by 2. I'm going to have root 3 k lambda over r. So that is your electric field over here because of this ring. Fair enough. Now let us see some more questions based on that. What could be, it could be a quarter of the ring, it could be any general ring. So we're going to learn the method how to find electric field in general because of any arc. That's the second thing. I'm sure it's clear to all of you. The idea is very simple. I got the small q, I found the small dE, I found the required component of that because the electric field is vector quantity. So we have to break that in the vector form before we get into the integration. I got the required form, which is dE cos theta. I put all the values. I decided, I set the limits properly based on this symmetry and all. And then I just did it, I got the answer, right? Now let's quickly go to the next part and see what happens if we have just a quarter of the ring, right? Okay. Alright then, now let's say the electric field at the center when we have the quarter of the ring. Okay, so let's say when we have a ring, a part of the ring, I would say, okay, having a charge, let's say plus q over here. So the charge is given on this, let's say plus q, okay, it's distributed over here. Let the radius be r. Let the radius be r. I want to know the electric field at this particular point. Oh, okay, steps gonna be same. We're gonna follow that same thing. I'm gonna choose a small element, let's say at angle theta over here. Okay, so let's say this is gonna be d theta. All right, so this small element over here dl should be r d theta. Fair enough. So the field because of this element at this particular point should be, let's say, in this direction. Let's say that's it, your small dE, right? Now if it is theta, this is going to be theta. So two part of it, one going to be in this direction, dE sine theta, and this is, let's say, dE cos theta. Okay, here we do not have that kind of symmetry which we have seen in the previous case. I do not have the equal part in this side, right? So there is a very less chance that the things will get eliminated. So in these kind of cases, we have to look for both the components, its cos as well as the sine component. Let me denote this as a x component and this as a y component. So let us try and figure it out one by one. Okay, I'm saying that electric field Ex, dEx should be, let's say, dE cos theta. Okay, in x direction. So dE cos theta. Okay, you can keep it there this way. Okay. Now, and your dEy, electric field in y direction, let's say keep it in simple way. It's gonna be dE sin theta. Okay. So we get to find the field individually x as well as in the y direction. No problem. Okay, the same fact. I'm going to find the value of dE. We know the value of cos theta. We can get it over there, and we know the value of sin theta as well. Okay, so let me draw something like this. So this part should be r cos theta, and this part should be r sin theta. Fair enough. Now let's talk about this thing first. Okay, so dEx should be dE should be, lambda is the linear charge density over here. So dEx should be k dq over distance r square times cos theta. So cos theta should be how much? Let it be as cos theta. Fair enough. Now dq should be lambda times dl, that is k lambda r d theta over r square cos theta. Cancellations happening over here. So basically what I got, dE cos theta, if I integrate this, so I'm going to get Ex. So Ex should be integration of k lambda. Okay, let me just take the constant out right away. I'll be having k lambda over r, inside we'll have cos theta integration d theta. Now theta will vary from where to where? 0 to pi by 2. So let's fix the limit 0 to pi by 2. Fair enough. Now in this case, k lambda r integration of cos theta is sin theta. Sin theta is going to be 0 to pi by 2. So I'm going to have k lambda by r. Fair enough over here. Now when we talk about this, let me put it k lambda over r. Okay. Now let's talk about this dy in the y coordinate. Okay. So dy should be dE, we know that, sin theta. Okay, no problem. Now d, as we know, it's nothing but k lambda r d theta over r square sin theta. So Ey should be integration of this. So k lambda over r, sin theta integration is going to be cos theta with a negative sign. Integration limit is 0 to pi by 2. So I'm going to have k lambda over r. Let's keep out negative outside. So cos pi by 2 is 0, cos 0 is 1. I'm going to have k lambda over r. Alright. So d cos theta and d sin theta is coming as how much? K lambda by r and k lambda by r. So the net field should be how much? Let me write here. The net field should be root of Ex whole square plus Ey whole square. Simple as that. And that should be how much? Root 2 times of k lambda over r, and that is your net field at this point O, or origin you can say, because of this a quarter of ring. Fair enough. Okay, the idea process remains same in all the cases, be it a quarter of ring of any angle of the ring. It should always be going to be same only. We always choose a small element, we find a small electric field because of that small element, the linear charge density is given lambda, well and good. If not, again I'm going to put q by the entire length or circumference of that particular quadrant, and then we're going to follow it up. Fair enough. Now I'm going to teach you a general way of getting the electric field because of arc of any sort of angle. Okay, so let me quickly erase general ways of finding electric field due to an arc. So what I'm going to do, let's say I have an arc which is a part of circle, and this, let's say, the center of that circle. Let's assume that the angle made by the end of the arc or this of the arc is, let's say, alpha. Let's suppose the charge on this is q, or maybe you can say the lambda is a linear charge density. Let's say positive lambda. Let's say we have positive charge on this thing. It could be negative also, no problem. You can just go along with that sign. So we should keep in mind that the sign of the lambda should be taken care of. Okay, so let's see what to do over here. Let me divide this, having something like this. Okay, let the radius be r. Again, I'm going to choose the small element over here. So let's say small element. At this point, I'm choosing a small element. Let's say at an angle of theta. Let's choose a small element over here. dl, that is going to be r d theta. Let me write lambda here. This dl is going to be r d theta. So the field because of this should be in this direction. Let's say dE. Now this will have its two component, one along this, other along this direction. So if it is theta, let me put here nicely. If it is theta, this angle should be theta. So this is going to be dE cos theta, and this is going to be dE sin theta. Fair as that? Yeah, right. Now if I want to know, I know that if it's a perpendicular bisector, this angle should be how much? I'm going to choose clock and anti-clockwise in one direction. One should be clockwise, should be positive, or anti-clockwise should be positive, whatever you decide, you know. So okay, let's say this is alpha, then this angle should be alpha by 2, and likewise this angle should be alpha by 2. So these are the standard measures that I'm writing over here. Let's find the dE, small field over here, and then probably you can see that the symmetry, this part will be nullified, because even this part and this part going to be cancelled because of symmetry is coming over here. So ultimately what I need to find is the dE cos theta, right? So to find this E, I need to do integration of this standard method of doing that, you know. Now let's find the dE. dE should be how much? K q, small q will be how much? Lambda r d theta over r square into cos of theta. And guys, you can see that small d will be, or you can remember like this, k lambda d theta over r right away. So doing this, keeping these things all the time, probably you can just quickly understand that. Anyways, now so let's keep the constant out and let's put the limit first. So limit should be negative alpha by 2 to alpha by 2. If I'm choosing the angle, it should be chosen from here. So this should be this direction, this should be in this direction. You can choose this to be negative and this should be positive, because this is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise. So let's keep anti-clockwise a positive value. Okay, now I'm going to have constant out, k lambda over r integration of cos theta d theta from negative alpha by 2 to alpha by 2. Fair enough. This is going to be cos integration is sine. So I'll be having k lambda over r sine of alpha by 2 plus sine of alpha by 2. I have did it directly. So ultimately what I'm going to get, 2 times of k lambda over r times sine of alpha by 2. So this is going to be your net electric field by any arc which has an angle of alpha. This is very, very important. Probably you're going to use it quite some time. So make sure you do write it properly. If you have any doubt, do let me in the comment box. I would be happy to help you out there. So E is going to be 2k lambda over sine alpha by 2. Now let's see some example based on this, and probably then we can go ahead. Alright then. Now let's see some more questions based on that. Okay, let's have some example like this. Probably if I have a circular ring on which I have something like this, okay, equally, you know, it's equal coordinate. This is the center of the circle. The diagram might not be that great. Okay, let's say if I have a positive charge spread over here, q, let's say probably, you know, I have negative charge over here, let's say negative q, the positive over here, let's say plus q, and let's say positive over here plus q. Now my question is, find the electric field at the center of this circle, right? Let the radius of circle be r. My question is, okay, let's keep it capital R. The question is, find E at center O. Okay, you can pause the video and just try and do it. Well, there's a little fluctuations in the current, so probably, you know, the light could be going up and down. Okay, anyways, I'm sure you have paused and tried this question. Okay, if I look at this thing, I can see that this positive and this positive can nullify each other, right? So So the net electric field should be in this direction because of this as well as because of this, right? Now the answer should be how much? Just now we have done because of the, an arc which is quadrant of 45, right? That was how much? Electric field was nothing but root 2 times of k lambda by r, isn't it? Fair enough. So this is what I'm going to get. This is nothing but same directions. We will be having 2 times of this, right? Because of this and because of this. That should be how much? This is because of one quadrant, 1 quarter, I would say, quarter. So because of this is the field. Now this and this going to have the same direction. So the E net should be how much? 2 times of this, 2 root 2 k lambda over r. Fair enough. Chalo. Let's see, why is it dust? Let's see one more questions like this. Now if I have some questions in which in all these cases we've seen the uniform distributions of the charge. There could be some cases in which the charge might not be uniformly distributed. That might depend on certain values. Let's suppose the angle or probably the length or something. Let's see one such questions. You might have found this question in such a good books. Let's say I have a semi arc, okay, and let's say this is center. If it is given that at any angle alpha, the lambda is given as lambda naught cos of alpha. At any angle alpha, the linear charge density depends as is lambda naught times cos of alpha. My question is, find the electric field at the center at this particular position because of this charge distribution over this arc, and let the radius be r. That's a question, okay? You guys could just pause the video and try solving it. All right? Okay, now let us try and solve it. Let's try and put the values and let's try and do it. Okay, so what we're going to do now over here, we know that the charge density is not linear. That's actually depending on the value of the angle. Okay, let's assume that at certain, okay, let me have something like this over here. I'm going to choose small element at this particular point, So let's say this angle is theta. I'm going to choose a small element over here, okay, and this angle is how much? D theta. Same method we're going to follow all the time, right? This length dl should be how much? R d theta, and dq will be lambda times dl. Lambda is nothing but lambda naught cos of, if it is theta, then it should be cos theta d lambda naught cos theta, and dl is how much? R d theta. That's going to be my small charge. Because of this, we'll be having a small electric field in this direction. Let's say that is dE. And we know that we'll be having 2 components of it, one along vertical, one along this horizontal. If this angle is theta, then this angle should be theta. Fair enough. Now if that is a theta, that part should be how much? Cos theta, and that's going to be sin theta. So this is going to be dE cos of theta, and this is going to be dE sin of theta. Let's assume this is vertical EY and this is EX. I can say that, right? So I'm going to calculate both of these, and since I know there is symmetry, but the linear charge density is not uniform, right? The charge is not uniformly distributed. So the net electric field will not be cancelled on these hand side, right? Understanding the point? Well, let's check. Let us check. It might be because it's varying on the cos. So there could be the possibilities, but normally we should not say it's going to be 0 because the symmetry is not existing properly, because the charge is, is not uniformly distributed. Though I'm sure a lot of guys might think, okay, the charge is it's nothing but the cos of alpha, and theta is varying from 0 to 90, and then probably 90 to 180. So yeah, that could be thing. But as of now, let's not get into that crap. Try and solve it step by step. Alright then, let me find out d cos theta. So dEx, x part of that, okay. 1 second guys. Yeah, there's a bit of noise. Okay, now dEx, okay, so dEx should be how much? K dq is nothing but lambda naught cos of theta r d theta over this part. Fair enough. And that should be how much? Let's say r square cos theta. That's a dE. Ex dE cos theta. This part is dE, this part is cos theta. I hope you guys have understood this one. So the net electric field in the x direction should be integration of dAx. I'm going to take the constants out. I'm going to have k lambda naught r outside. I'll be having cos square theta d theta, and theta would vary from how much? 0 to pi. It's going to be 0 to pi. Okay, now I'm sure you guys know that we cannot just integrate it right away. I'm sure you guys are studying maths. If not, I'm going to tell you two important formulae. Note it down. I'm going to put it here. 1 plus cos of 2 theta is 2 cos square theta, and 1 minus cos 2 theta is 2 sine square theta. This is a very important formula. It's going to help you a lot in a lot of questions. Anyways, so the cos theta should be how much? 1 plus cos 2 theta over 2. So I can write down k lambda naught over r integration 0 to pi 1 plus cos of 2 theta over 2 d theta. Remaining is mathematics. For x was only till here. Now the rest is mathematics. I just need to integrate this. So I'm going to have k lambda naught by 2r integration. Integration of 1 should be how much? Theta. Now cos 2 theta should be how much? Sine of 2 theta over 2 limit 0 to pi. This part is going to be 0 because pi is coming, 0 is coming. So the value of this should be how much? K lambda naught by 2r times pi. Fair enough. So the value should be k pi lambda naught over 2r, and that is your Ex, that is in the horizontal direction. Fair enough. Likewise, I'm going to find out the electric field in the vertical direction. Same process, nothing new. The only thing is the component going to be sine component. Okay. So let me quickly erase this. Guys, you can pause the video and note these things down properly. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the vertical component. That should be Ey. Alright then. Let's quickly go ahead and solve it. So the Ey should be how much? E dE integration of that I'm writing right away, sine theta. Okay, d should be how much? K lambda naught cos of theta into sine of theta over r and d theta. Fair enough. Integrate that. The limit should be 0 to pi again. I'm going to have k lambda naught r over here. If I multiply up and down by 2, so I'm going to multiply up and down by 2, I'm going to have sine theta into cos theta 0 to pi d theta. Well, that should be k lambda naught by 2r. This is going to be sine 2 theta. Integration of that. Let's say this is sine 2 theta d theta. Let me write it properly. Okay. Now 0 to pi. Let me put the limit 0 to pi. Integration of sine is how much? Cos. I'm going to have k lambda naught by 2r. Now we'll have cos of minus cos of 2 theta over 2 limit 0 to pi. Let me put this sign minus out. I'll be having k lambda naught by 2r negative sign cos 2 pi. Cos 2 pi is nothing but 1 itself. Cos 0 is 1 itself. I'm going to get how much? 0. Well guys, this was the question of Irodov. It's very easy, you know. So the idea is always stick to the basic principle, how to find electric field in a extended mass object, charge object. When we have charge distributed, I'm going to choose a small element. I'm going to find the small electric field. If since it's the vector quantity, I must be taking the vector component, and then only I should go with the integration. Fair enough. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Let's see some more good questions over here. Now, in the electrostatic with the Coulomb's law, I have done so many questions which had SHM coming up over there. So we can have some questions over here which can be mixed up with the SHM concept. Okay, let's say I have a ring. Example, let's say I have a ring having a charge Q. All right, I know that at the center, what is electric field? 0. and the field due to ring is nothing but kqx over r square plus x square to the power of 3 by 2. It varies that way, right? If I have probably this charge distribution is, let's say, plus q. Okay, if I have a charge negative q at center, if I displace it little bit over here, let's say small distance x, and then release it, do you think it's going to be oscillating? Will it perform some SHM? Yes, it will. Now if I pull this charge till certain distance x and then leave it, now I know that if it is negative charge, let's say negative q over here, the force on this should be in this direction. It's a positive charge. This will get back to the mean position. It will be having some kinetic energy. It will pass the mean position. Again, the same thing, it will come back. So it's going to be into an SHM, right? My question is, find the time period. Find time period of oscillation if negative q is moved by small distance. I have discussed these things properly in the previous classes, lectures. You can go and check it out there. Moved by small distance x and then released, That's the question. All right. Let's give a try to this question, guys, and then we can check up the videos. All right then. Now understand that. I know that if I could figure out this thing, it means this is an SHM, right? If fx is equals to minus of kx, it becomes an SHM. The force acting on this charge over here by small distance x, the force should be how much? Q times of E. We have already seen this stuff, right? Yeah. Okay. This is going to be how much? Negative q. It should be how much? K q x over r square plus x square over 3 by 2. Now we know, let's say the radius of this circular ring is r. Okay, let me mention that properly over here. Alright then, what we can see over here, this x is very, very small. Then comparison to r, I can say r is quite greater than x, right? So can I just write this as negative q, k, q over r whole cube times x, of course, isn't it? Yep. So if I look at this thing and do the comparison with this thing, can I say this k should be how much? K cube q by r cube, k q q by r cube. I got the value of k. Now this k and this k are different, right? This is a spring constant and this is your 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So do not get confused with that. Now we know the time period should be how much? Under 2 pi under root of m over k. So that should be 2 pi root of m r cube over k cube cube. Happy, guys? So this is the time period if I leave a small charge negative q, shifted a bit by small distance x and then release it, it's going to be getting into SHM with the time period, and that's going to be equals to 2 pi mrq over k cube small q. Okay, this is small q, this is not 2, this is small q. Fair enough? Now let me tell you something more about this. Before that, let me clean this properly. That electric field is nothing but due to ring on the axis k qx over r square plus x square to the power of 3 by 2. I know that at the center at x is equals to 0, E is 0, right? At the center E is equal to 0. If I take this x infinity, this A should be how much? Again 0. So at x is equals to infinity also E is 0. It means at a certain point we have some value, right? At x is equal to 0, this is going to be 0, that is the center of the ring. At infinity also this becomes 0. It means if what it was 0 at infinity also it becomes 0, means it must have achieved some maxima, right? And then came back to that 0, isn't it? So we got to find the maxima electric field, and we got to find the distance at which the electric field is maxima or the minima. Fair enough? So this is the case which we need to understand, that at x is equal to 0 also the field is 0. and x is equal to infinity also, the field is 0. It means somewhere in the middle it must have achieved a maxima. So the graph of electric field, if you look at it in very detailed way, it should be somewhat like this, you know, as a somewhat like this, okay, and okay, this always goes all right, okay. So this is going to be E max, that's going to be E max, and this point is going to be E minimum. Let's suppose this is E axis and this is my x axis. So we have to find this coordinate and this coordinate, that is a question, right? So the question is find value, find, you know, distance x on the axis of ring at which E is max and minimum. That's the question. Alright guys, try this out. Alright, I'm sure guys you must have done with this. Okay, so let's say we know that E on the axis of electric on the ring is nothing but k qx over r square plus x square to the power of 3 by 2. So this is nothing but basically on the axis of the ring at distance x, E with the radius r with the charge q is given as that way. Okay, we know that for maxima or minima, dE by dx should be 0. So this is a pure mathematical calculations, I'm sure you guys can do it. So I'm doing it quite quickly. So dE by dx should be nothing but, let's kq out of it, no problem with this. I'll be having probably, you know, 1 over r square plus x square 3 by 2 minus x, I'm going to keep it as it is, you know, it's going to be how much, 3 by probably 2 times 2 times of x into 1 by r square plus x square to the power of 5 by 2. I'm sure you guys can understand this, right? Not a big deal. Okay, and denominator, that's okay, that should be equals to 0. So what I'm going to have is, I'll be having 1, I'm going to take it this common, 1 by r square plus x square to the power of 3 by 2. I'll be having 1 minus 2x, 3x square over, this is going to be r square plus x square, subtracting this, nothing but 1. Very good, that should be equals to 0. So ultimately what I'm going to get is 3x square is equals to r square plus x square, that eventually turns out to be 2x square is equals to r square. So x should be plus or minus of r over root of 2. Okay, so that is the distance at which electric field is going to be maxima or minima, right? So if I want to draw it in the graph form, already you just pause the video. If you want to derive it properly, differentiate this properly, you can just go ahead and do it. I've done it right away. I'm sure you guys know this differentiation. By this time you have learned the differentiation properly. You can do that. So what we have got is x is equals to plus or minus of r by root 2. So x is equals to plus or minus of r over root 2. So if I go back to the graph of electric field, right, this is nothing but something like this. Already we have seen that, and this should be like this, isn't it? Yeah. So at this particular point, which is r by root 2, will have E max, and at this particular point we'll be having negative r by root 2, will be having E minimum, isn't it? Fair enough. So that is very important. We can have some questions based on this.